Welcome to this week's episode of It's About Damn Time. I am Jared Dam in the building once again. Hey, if you are new here, It's About Damn Time is a conversational podcast where we provide education, motivation through conversation, and just help you be a better person. And I'm here with somebody who I know is going to help you be a better person because this man creates great habits. He helps people create some great habits. Welcome Ty Nichols. He's also known as the Habit Strategist. A certified coach, and a renowned behavior design expert. I didn't even know what that was until I stumbled on this man on TikTok. And once I found that, I went down a rabbit. I know me. Once I was locked in or something, I just be scrolling and looking. He probably got off a stalker for double tapping so much on all his content. So, Ty, welcome to the show. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Happy to be here, man. I'm glad you really reached out.
Absolutely. So, a lot of people who are long time listeners. I've been doing this for almost 3 years now. Granted, I grew up with my mom and my grandma, so I relate a lot to women. And some people look at me and they be like, "There goes Jerry with another woman on his podcast. He always have all the women on his podcast." So I'm happy to have a brother on so people can get off my back.
Nah, I can dig it. I can dig it. I can dig it. I will agree with you. And I grew up with, four of my aunts, my mother, my grandmother. I already know the way to the future is women for sure. But like you said, bring some people on. You know what I mean? Get switched up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to kind of get this conversation of good habits because we always talk about trying to have good habits, trying to, I need to make it a habit of doing this. I need to make it a habit to go to the gym, make it a habit to eat better, whatever. But how do you, just off the rip, how do you get into a mindset where you want to start creating good habits? Because, yo, that's a lot easier said than done.
No, you're absolutely right. And you hit it right on the head. Before, with any client I've coached, because I've coached people all over the world in habit formation and behavior design, the first things first is to address the mindset. The mindset is absolutely crucial. Oftentimes, you find folks with a fixed mindset and a growth mindset, and you have to make that transition where they understand what failure is. They understand the importance of progress, even if it's small progress, right? But when it comes to habits, why are they important? Well, your life is made up of your daily habits. You know how they say you are what you eat? Well, you are what you repeatedly do. And habits, when you break them down, they're actually behaviors. Habits are behaviors that have become automatic, have reached a point of automaticity. When you're talking about brushing your teeth, tying your shoes, locking your door when you leave your house, these are things you don't actively think about, you just automatically do. The key is to get certain behaviors that are moving you towards where you want to be into that automaticity realm. Then you want to simplify your goals into tiny habits. And we'll get into the tiny habits method and how I got involved with that. But you want to shrink those behaviors down into bite sized, digestible pieces, right? Then you want to create effective triggers or prompts that are going to prompt you to do a specific behavior. You want to celebrate successes, celebrate that small progress, design a plan, and measure and track your progress. Those are the keys in a 10,000 mile view of habit formation and behavior design.
So this is interesting. I'm gonna go back to the word. I love learning new words. Automatic.
Automaticity, right?
Ooh, I love it. I love it
So
already.
so when you look at, I usually have a PowerPoint. So you think of a line, right? You've got an arrow on both ends of the line. On one end of the line, you have choice. When it comes to behavior, you have choice, right? If you're out of town somewhere, you're in LA, if you've ever been there, and you're trying to choose where we're going to go, where we're going to visit, or what have you, right? You're making active decisions and choices about where you're going. Towards the middle, you have, some things that are automatic where you kind of know where you want to go. You've developed a routine. You've been there for a couple days, where you want to eat breakfast, kind of where you want to eat lunch. But when you get to the automaticity realm, where it's automatic. That's like when you're at home and you're driving to work in the morning. You don't have to think about the route. You don't have to think about the streets. You just automatically, eventually, you show up to work. As a matter of fact, think about it like this. Have you ever been driving one day from your home and then halfway through your trip, you're like, wait a minute, I'm on the way to work. I'm not going to work, right? That's because your mind is on that autopilot piece. So the key is getting the right behaviors to automaticity. That's the key, where you don't even really think about them.
That's really interesting, and I'm glad you came up with that example because I was just thinking about that. How many times have I gone to work and been like, or the farmers market is just right there near my job. So I'm driving to the farmers market, and I know I'm going to the farmers market. And halfway in the middle, I make that wrong turn. I'm like, today ain't the day for you to be at work. And so
Right.
it makes a lot of sense. And so when you talk about that and trying to get good habits into that, and I love the examples that you made of where it locking the door when locking your car door when you leave, or just brushing your teeth when you wake up in the morning. Some of the things you do. So it's getting. How do you get something, whether it's good or bad? I guess. How do you get it from something that I've done a couple times, like maybe one of the things I'm guilty of, waking up first thing in the morning, first thing I do is get on TikTok. Yeah, I know it's bad, it's horrible, right? But I do that. So how do I get that habit? How do I get that habit from me doing that a couple of times to all of a sudden, like I'm reaching for my phone as soon as how does that happen?
All right. So that again, that goes down to your motivations. Why you do particular things depends on what you're getting out of it, right? Any behavior that you have, and you can apply what we call the Fogg behavioral model. So I got to take a few steps back to see how I got to where I am, right? So one day, I went to my doctor's office and I thought, I was having some kind of issues with my kidneys. We did some tests and whatnot. He came in and said, hey, listen, there's nothing wrong with your kidneys. I was like, cool, I'm ready to get out of here. And then we went into our normal dance, right? We do this dance every time where he mentions my weight and I'm like, doc, I feel fine. I'll eat a salad. I'll lose some weight, right? Now, keep in mind, at this time, I was 497 pounds. So my doc had had enough of these dances, and he said, "Hey, listen, you say you feel fine, right?" I said, "Yeah." You saw my blood pressure is good, my cholesterol is great. He said, "Well, how does your spleen feel?" I said, "Doc, I don't know what a spleen is, nor do I know what a spleen does." He went on to explain the importance of the spleen, how it cleans the blood, fights disease, and so forth. But he went on to say that my internal organs are under extreme duress due to my weight, and if I don't make a change immediately, I could experience some catastrophic problems. And I didn't even think, because our internal organs aren't built for that, right? They're built to do, their systems. They're not meant to carry all of this extra weight. So I'm mumbling to myself, I need more motivation. I need this, I need that. And he's like, what you need is better habits. When you can control your habits, you can control your life. And it was like remember that movie Inception? He incepted me with this idea of habits. So I went home and I bought several books on habit formation, um, from Charles Duhigg all the way to BJ Fogg. And first of all, I absorbed all of these books and I continued to do research, and I came to understand how habits work and how to apply them and how to implement them. And with that, I lost over 200 pounds, right? So I took that experience and that knowledge. I said, I want more. So I went on to work side by side with BJ Fogg, Dr. BJ Fogg himself, the author of Tiny Habits, the current head researcher at Stanford University at the Behavior Design Lab. Like, he is my mentor. We went through and he trained me on how to coach people on how to build good habits. And I've been doing that ever since.